This is Jaguar Wright, outside the courtroom where Diddy is trying to prove himself innocent.
There needs to be someone here who's been here all along.
Why do you think T.D. Jakes was at Puff Daddy's birthday party?
If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties. I hope it was for money, because arguing about who's going to put the strap on is...
Why would we need a 50-foot bed?
I mean, T.D. Jakes ain't small. I'm just saying. If it's a group thing, it's a group thing. You gotta think about, you got Rick Ross, you got Khaled, we talk about heavy hitters.
He making the Christians look real bad right about now.
And you been to these parties, right?
Oh yeah, I was there when he was doing the white parties in the Hamptons and the whole 9 yards, so I know what goes on at the parties. If, they probably got a little bit more freakier, as time went on, because they got to the point whereas that they didn't even care.
Diddy's courtroom spiral just hit a new level. And no, it wasn't because of Cassie. It wasn't the male escort testimony either. It was Jaguar Wright, and what she walked in with left the entire courtroom stunned. In a move nobody expected, Jaguar crashed the trial carrying what she claims are tapes of Diddy and Bishop T.D. Jakes. Yes, the same T.D. Jakes who built an empire off preaching purity and faith. As soon as she stepped in, everything shifted. Diddy reportedly lost it, slamming the table, snapping at his legal team and demanding answers. Witnesses say he was visibly shaking. This wasn't just a surprise appearance, it was a strike. And the internet? It exploded. Because now, the Diddy trial isn't just about abuse, freak-offs, or even manipulation. It's about who helped him, who protected him, and who got clapped on their cheeks by the diddler. The T.D. Jakes freak-off tapes. So, T.D. Jakes is now at the center of this chaos, with tapes that may reveal much more than just proximity. And if those tapes hold what Jaguar claims, they could destroy more than just Diddy's defense. They could take down the entire image of a man millions trusted for decades. Bishop T.D. Jakes is facing the biggest backlash of his life. Once praised as a spiritual leader and best-selling author, Jakes is now being accused of something unthinkable: helping Diddy clean up his image while possibly enabling the very crimes the court is now unpacking. Now, in Lil Rod's lawsuit, T.D. Jakes isn't just listed as a spiritual advisor. He's framed as someone who strategically helped Diddy protect himself. And not just through prayer. The lawsuit suggests Jakes knew about the freak-offs, the abuse, and still used his influence to keep Diddy's reputation intact. Jaguar Wright, who's been vocal about Jakes for years, doubled down during her appearance in court. She claimed Jakes was not just present, but involved in the same environments Diddy used to control and exploit people.
Why do you think T.D. Jakes was at Puff Daddy's birthday party?
If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties.
Even Gene Deal, Diddy's former security, confirmed that Jakes was around often, not in the pulpit, but at the parties.
He also claims that, Diddy, he was using T.D. Jakes to fix his image. You believe that?
Well, we saw that to be true anyway. That's what he was trying to do all that time. That's why T.D. Jakes was there, to try to fix his image. Ain't no money like church money. He was doing all the things to try to get his image straightened up.
Photos and old videos of Jakes and Diddy once looked like innocent celebrity meetups. But now, fans are watching those clips with suspicion. Because if what Jaguar says is true, Jakes wasn't counseling Diddy, he was partying with him.
The captain is famous with these bells. He does play a richest one.
What's it?
The twist here is bigger than just betrayal. It's the tension between public morality and private behavior. T.D. Jakes built an empire on spiritual authority. So, if the tapes back up these allegations, it's not just his brand that collapses, it's his legacy. And so far, no public denial, no press release, just silence. And in any case, this loud silence says a lot. If you're wondering how Jaguar Wright even got the tapes, you're not alone. Because these weren't random recordings passed around backstage. According to sources, they came straight from the federal raid on Diddy's homes in both Los Angeles and Miami in September 2024. And what the feds found changed everything. FBI recovers Diddy party footage.
In the last hour, we have learned Homeland Security agents raided rap mogul Sean Diddy Combs' home. You are looking at some aerial video showing agents outside Combs' home. The exact reason for the raid is unclear, but Combs has been dealing with some legal troubles, including lawsuits over alleged sexual assaults and sex trafficking. Federal agents were also spotted at Combs' home in Miami.
It wasn't just hard drives and burner phones. It was surveillance-style footage, allegedly showing what insiders described as freak-offs, with powerful names in compromising situations. Some drives even had names or initials on the files, according to leaks.
They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large-capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims.
And the wildest part? Some now believe Diddy was recording these events himself, not for fun, but for leverage, for blackmail, insurance, control. If true, that turns this from scandal to strategy.
You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood.
Somehow, whether through whistleblowers or back-channel drops, Jaguar Wright got access to at least a portion of that footage, and she brought it straight to court. Now, Diddy's team is in full lockdown mode. His lawyers are scrambling, PR is melting, and his inner circle. They're terrified, because if even one more drive leaks, his whole house of cards collapses. This isn't just about humiliation, it's about evidence of crimes, possibly stretching back decades. And the more people realize what's really on those tapes, the more they start asking, what else is out there, and who's next? As shocking as the tapes were, what's happening outside the courtroom is just as important, because for the first time in years, the alleged victims are being heard and believed. Ally Carter leaks how Hollywood trafficking works. One of the most vocal survivors is Ally Carter. For years, she's spoken about being trafficked through celebrity circles, claiming she was brought to parties underage and treated like a party favor. Most people dismissed her. They said she was chasing clout, but now her words line up with the freak-off footage and testimony surfacing in court.
I never thought that we would see the day where Diddy would get arrested, and I told you guys in that Maria Z interview in 2021 that no one tells on Diddy.
I was a party favor. What does that mean?
I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table.
So you're telling me they set children?
I set children on a table.
Like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them,
Yep.
and they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak-off parties, they put children on the table instead of gift bags, and then people can do what?
Take you off the table and have sex.
Carter described horrific scenes, rooms full of celebrities, cameras hidden in walls, and girls too young to consent being drugged and coerced. And now that Jaguar's tapes are allegedly confirming some of this, people are finally listening. And Allie's not alone. Cassie, who dated Diddy for years, also took the stand. She backed up the same themes: manipulation, fear, surveillance, and being forced into disturbing situations. She said Diddy controlled her outfits, tracked her phone, and pushed her toward events she didn't want to be part of.
She also said that he controlled her appearance. Sometimes he didn't like her hair, he wanted her to dress sexy, sometimes a tomboy. He wanted her nails to be white, she testified, especially during the freak-offs. And one thing that she said she was concerned about was blackmail, because a lot of these freak-offs were recorded, and the big concern was hers that they could end up in the internet if somehow she did something to upset.
And who can forget the video of Diddy physically attacking her in a hotel hallway, footage that leaked just days after her lawsuit was quietly settled. That case got buried fast, but the video, it blew up, and Diddy's weak apology only made things worse.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
As more women speak out, the puzzle is coming together. These weren't isolated incidents. This was a pattern, hidden in plain sight, protected by fame and power, and now finally being exposed. T.D. Jakes backfires with lawsuits. Bishop T.D. Jakes is learning something the hard way. When the public turns on you, silence only makes it worse. As tapes surface, lawsuits circulate, and Jaguar Wright keeps talking, Jakes hasn't said a word. No denials, no press conferences, just silence and lawyers. According to court insiders, Jakes has quietly filed a defamation suit against Pastor Dwayne Youngblood, a man who accused Jakes of long-term sexual misconduct and spiritual abuse.
Well, after taking him back to her home, he says, come on in, let's talk. You can't even imagine being 18, 19 years of age. This person is killing it, and they're saying to you, come on in, let's talk. And so I did. I went in, and I got up from the table. He got up from the table. He walked around toward the way I had to exit quicker than I got over there. And when I started to walk past him, he pulled me to himself, wrapped his arms around me, and tried to kiss me. And in that moment, I literally died. I could not, I tell you, to this day, I can't remember how I got out of that place. And I get to sleep and get up in the morning, and in the morning I step into our bathroom and my home phone rings. My mother answers the phone and she says to me, Wayne, it's Elder Jakes. I get on that phone. And when I get on that telephone, I can hear water. He is sitting in a bathtub. And in that thing, he says to me without any hesitation, there's 3 things I need you to do. The first one is, when I come to Pittsburgh, you're going to be the only person I sleep with. The second one is, you can't sleep with anybody else because I don't want to give my wife anything. And thirdly, I will take care of you the rest of your life. I can't to this day remember how I got off that phone.
But that lawsuit may have backfired. Instead of silencing the accusations, it drew more attention, more victims, more bloggers. And now, even mainstream voices are speaking out. Comedian Cat Williams, who's known for exposing industry hypocrisy, openly called out Jakes in a recent interview, saying what many are too afraid to admit: something's not right.
Nobody in black church said nothing. You would have thought all the pastors would have came. Nobody said nothing. Because T.D. Jakes over there with P. Diddy. Like, come on, Cat. Only the guy you had here has been upfront and honest and a man of God and humble and took the L's he had to take.
And just as this was gaining steam, reports started surfacing that T.D. Jakes had withdrawn from multiple public events, allegedly due to stress and declining health.
To y'all, to all the people who prayed that y'all got, all the people who texted, all the people who had prayer vigils, all the people who were concerned and sent love and sent notes. Watch him. Be just grateful. You know, thank you, just one kind. And didn't have to turn out this way.
But fans aren't buying the victim card. Online, people are saying Jakes is pulling the oldest move in the book: go quiet, play sick, and hope the heat dies down. But this scandal isn't going away. Not with lawsuits, viral footage, and testimonies all pointing in the same direction. The truth is, Jakes' name has been synonymous with faith and leadership for decades. But now, his brand is being linked to parties, cover-ups, and alleged freak-offs. And as long as he stays silent, the public will keep rewriting his legacy without his input. By now, most people have heard the term freak-off. But what's finally coming out in court is that these weren't just wild parties. They were setups, strategic, choreographed, and always filmed. The freak-off setup. According to insiders and leaked footage, the freak-offs were full of drugs, forced encounters, and hidden surveillance. Cameras in walls, audio feeds, everything recorded without consent, and allegedly saved for leverage.
Usually had a laundry list of items that included lights, alcohol, marijuana, ketamine, Molly. Those requests started to become more frequent.
Jaguar Wright has been warning about this for years. She claimed that some celebrities were drugged, filmed, and then threatened into silence, or worse, cooperation. And now the leaked clips and seized hard drives are backing up what she's been saying all along. One tape, one testimony, one raid at a time. We've seen federal raids, victims finding the courage to speak, pastors losing their pulpits, and stars pulling PR stunts to quietly back away from people they once praised. And now the internet is asking, is this the fall of an empire or just the start of something even darker? Will Diddy strike a deal to protect himself, or will he finally face real consequences? And what about TD Jakes? Is his silence protecting secrets we haven't even begun to see? And if the tapes Jaguar brought in are just the beginning, who else is on them? These aren't just questions for the courtroom. They're questions for all of us. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is the beginning of a full industry takedown, or just more headlines that'll disappear in a week? Like, subscribe, and stay locked in. We've got more coming. See you in the next one.